What's up, Kingdom of Rock? This is Matt Gibson. And today, Michael Molenda and I are here with Mr. Ted Bowne from the band Passafire. How's it going, Ted?
It's good. How you guys doing?
Good, good. We sorry for the delay, everybody. We had a bit of some technical difficulties. Ted lives out in the sticks on a farm, and he's our internet's a little sketchy today. So we're really glad you could take some time and come here to talk to Kingdom of Rock, man. It's your first time on the show, so welcome.
Thanks for having me. I'm stoked to be here.
Yeah, dude. My friend Audrey, she helps out with the show sometimes, and she is like one of your biggest fans. And we hang out a lot, and she plays Pacifier all the time, dude. And I started digging it, man. I really like I'm an old school metalhead. I grew up in the '80s. You know, I'm a shredder, and it's like I really like how you guys blend those two very almost opposing genres of music, and you blend it in a way that is just like reggae, you know, hard rock. You've got like all kinds of like awesome ingredients in your music, and it's really I really enjoy it.
Thanks, man. We're influenced by, not only reggae, but a lot of 90s alternative rock and metal and punk and stuff like that. So, like the ones before us, 311 and Sublime and The Clash and The Police, just trying to take that whole vibe further.
Well, how do you actually mix that stuff up when it comes to songwriting? Is it just everybody's got an idea, or you actually try to, evoke certain bands, or is it all of the above?
I think there's a little bit of all of that. We definitely try to pay tribute to our biggest influences in certain ways, but we also enjoy getting together and just jamming and coming up with stuff sort of out of the ether, and going back and being like, what was that? Let's record that. That's also just as fun. But we have purposefully, paid tribute to people that we're influenced by in the studio and live.
And how long have you guys been doing Pacifier?
Since 2003, so 17 years.
How did that get started? Like, were you a music school guy, or did you is this like grassroots garage band? Like, what's the origin story of Pacifier?
So the original members, which now is Nick the drummer and myself, we started the band in 2003 at Savannah College of Art and Design, and we basically played on the weekends we could in Florida and South Carolina and Georgia. And then once we were all done with school, we took it on the road and went, up and down the East Coast as much as possible. But it all started out in Savannah, Georgia, and we basically played all around town until it was like we couldn't play in town every week because people weren't coming as much to the shows because we were playing there all the time. So we had to branch out and start playing around the South. So that was kind of the origin story, if you will.
So no, that's interesting, because a lot of the bands will just stay in a particular city and just completely fly it out. But you guys actually are a little bit more ambitious than that. You wanted to see how things work out of town. Was that like kind of a slow burn?
Yeah, working with several different low-level booking agents at first and getting booked at like Wild Wing Cafe. There's a whole circuit of bars down south that are like corporately owned, and there's one in every college town in the South, and we just got hooked up with those little circuits going around South Carolina, North Carolina, Georgia, Florida, and a lot of these gigs were not super high profile gigs, but they got us to the next step, which was getting noticed by bigger bands who then wanted to take us on tour and then put us in the national circuit instead of just the regional thing that we've been doing.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, well, I actually, something technical happened to me. I actually bounced out for a second. So thanks for answering that question. I'm sure it was awesome.
No, sorry, dude. There's just I think, it may not be Ted's internet. I think it might be the internet because I'm having lag problems here too. So
Okay.
maybe we're both in California and they've got a lot of stuff going on with the fires and things like that. By the way, Michael, you don't look like you're in San Francisco anymore. The weather looks kind of like Sinatra right now.
Yes, I'm in the one of the lands of Sinatra, Palm Springs at the moment. So I'm chilling in some better air than up in San Francisco. The air in Palm Springs is not orange, which is a shame because orange was Frank Sinatra's favorite color. But breathing orange air is not awesome. So I'm happy where I'm at.
So, Ted, where are you at
Our bass
right now?
player's in LA.
Oh, cool.
I'm in Princess Anne, Maryland. It's Eastern Shore, Maryland.
Eastern Shore. Cool. Is that anywhere near Baltimore?
About 2 hours east and south of Baltimore.
Okay, gotcha. I can picture it now. I've only been to Maryland one time, and it was Baltimore. So, but so you guys, do you play up and down that area right now? I mean, how's COVID affected your touring? Obviously, you guys aren't playing any shows right now, right? So, what are you guys doing to stay busy?
We haven't been able to play shows. We haven't been able to play shows since March, and there are these what are they called? Drive-in movie theater shows that are happening, and we've toyed with the idea of it. But we all live all over the country. We're geographically dispersed all the way across the country. So getting together to do shows and stuff like that, we have to travel and we have to stay in hotels and stuff. And we're all just sort of very cautious of all of that right now. So instead, we're trying to go live on social media whenever we can and post cool videos of doing covers at home and using the internet as much as possible to put out new content. But it's tough. It's like our entire livelihood has been crushed by this thing, and we hope that we can get back to it, but we're the first industry to shut down, and we'll probably be the last to open up. It's a bummer.
Yeah, well, I guess that's tough too, because as you said, with everybody kind of all over the place, it really only makes sense financially when you do tour if you can actually play multiple cities. Like if I had a drive-in concert for you in San Francisco, but just one, it probably wouldn't even be worth taking, right?
I didn't catch that question. It sounded like R2D2.
Oh, can you hear me now? Can you hear me okay, Ted?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Mike was just talking about if, like, we just actually had a drive-in concert guy. Uh-oh. We lost him. Ooh. Yeah, the internet's acting weird, guys. So we're just going to wait a second here for Ted. Here he comes back. He's back.
Okay. Hey, Ted,
get him back.
Can you hear us, but they don't sound like monsters at the moment?
I hear you. It's tough.
Okay. Well, I just asked that, it must be tough for your, Passafire, because with everybody all over the country, even if I had a gig for you in San Francisco, it's kind of hard to do a one-off, right? It only makes sense financially if you guys can play multiple shows.
I think you're asking if we're going to be playing multiple shows when we start touring again. Is that correct?
Close. He said, do you have to play multiple shows in California to make it worth the trip, so to speak? Because we know drive-in concert people here.
Yeah. I mean, it would definitely have to be either one show that's worth the fly out or several shows that make it worth the fly out. And that's all, booking and management talk, but like I know for a fact that we can't technically travel whole band and crew to a big production without a certain, you know, amount of shows lined up or one show with a big chunk of money coming from it. But we want to do it. We're not opposed to doing it. It's just when and how safe it's gonna be.
Yeah. Are you now in Maryland? Is it are any venues opening up? Have you heard any live music popping up anywhere yet?
Um, I'm actually playing a show next weekend on a floating dock that people are gonna paddleboard out to, and that's gonna be the first live music thing that I'm doing since everything closed down. But yeah, I think there are some venues opening up, outdoor venues that are opening up, if that was the question.
Yeah. Well, that sounds pretty creative. Have everybody paddle out to it. That's an interesting way to. It's amazing what people are doing just to keep the live music thing going.
Yeah, technically, if you go out to the open seas, there's no rules, so you have to go out. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Exactly.
It's like having those old mafia gambling ships in the 20s.
Maritime law.
Yeah,
That's right. That's right. So is it going to be like a big party? Everyone's going to be wearing masks on their paddle boards? Hopefully
No, I
not.
don't think people are going to wear masks on the paddleboard.
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
But I do encourage wearing masks in public, wherever else you go, where you're indoors or around people closely.
So, Ted, let me ask you this: what has the COVID crisis taught you as a musician?
It's taught me that I think we've, as a band, but more personally, I think I've slacked as far as putting out content on the internet and like really pushing myself to create content in between releases and make stuff that really gets people's attention and brings attention to not only our Facebook and Instagram, but our YouTube, which is, we're monetized on YouTube now. So anything we put on YouTube has the potential to make money for us. So I think I've awoken to the fact that the internet needs to be paid attention to, and we need to do more in order to get our channels up and more popular and get people watching on a regular basis. Because when we can't play shows, it's the only place we can be watched, and people, will be reminded to go buy merch from our merch store online. And I think we're trying to get behind the doing exclusive merch for exclusive things. Like if we release something, we release merch that's only available that day or while that live stream is playing. A lot of other bands in our genre are doing the same, and it's working out for them. So just learning how to manage this virtual world that we now live in.
Well, that seems real smart. Do you have, does your team look at, okay, if we monetize YouTube enough and we have merch enough and we make this much money a month, then we're going to be okay. So that's the goal we need to get to. If you get it down to that level from a financial plan.
I didn't understand that question. I'm sorry. It was robotic.
Yeah, I guess I'm more. There we go again.
Yeah. I think what we're gonna do is I think today is a bad internet day. We can talk to Ted about maybe rescheduling this interview when we have a better connection.
Yeah, because we apologize. It's tough for who's ever watching. I'm sure this is not fun. So Matt's right. Why don't we just pull the plug on this? Matt will reschedule, and we apologize for anyone who's suffering through the last 20 minutes. But you know, we were just trying to make it happen. So I'm going to bail out. Okay.
Hey, Ted.
Hey guys.
Hey, I think we're gonna go ahead and maybe reschedule this in a better internet day. But I just wanted to. I'll talk. Stay there. We'll talk offline. So I'm gonna go ahead, guys. Thank you so much for those of you that have watched the broadcast. We'll reschedule this with Ted when we can get a little bit better internet day, and so you guys, can enjoy the interview and all that stuff. So Kingdom of Rock out, but we will return with Ted here in the future.